And hello YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of The Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and review for today's episode of Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, episode 5. Now, if you've not seen Obi-Wan Kenobi, spoilers ahead, so buckle up because this was a pretty interesting episode. I actually liked this episode more than the last one. So yeah, they really needed a banger here. So, something to really get us back into like this is a great show kind of feel. So yeah, let's talk about it. So we all know the last episode, which is episode 4, Obi-Wan pretty much, he had to escape that whole Inquisitor base to try to save Leia, which he did. And now they're back with the Resistance people. They went to a new planet that's basically a home where they can smuggle people out of certain planets just in case the Empire goes after them, or women, children, families, especially those who have Force sensitive people in their in their camp. So they had to make sure that they were ready to hide. Well, unfortunately, the Empire shows up with the brand new Grand Inquisitor, which is the lady. I keep Reva or Reva. One of them. I apologize. She becomes a new Grand Inquisitor, which I think we all knew that she wanted that. But there was more motive to her being who she is, and we actually do finally get a closer of why she's like who she is and why she's so obsessed and angry at Obi-Wan. So I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, so she becomes a new Grand Inquisitor. She goes after Obi-Wan because she put a tracking device into the droid, which they're like in some kind of landing bay, and basically they use the droid that they put the tracker on to destroy or disable the the opening for the ships to get out, come in, mechanism, so that way they can be boxed in and trapped. So the Empire shows up with the Grand Inquisitor. She shows up. She brings the whole Stormtrooper army with her as much as she can, and she basically tells Obi-Wan, "Hey, listen, you better surrender now. I'm coming in there after you. I'll kill everybody who gets in my way," and all that stuff. So he finally figures it out why she's so bent on trying to get rid of Obi-Wan and send him to Darth Vader. Well, it was pretty much everybody's guess, which if everybody guessed from what the beginning episode was when we saw Younglings training and then Order 66 happened, she was the young girl, a part of that. Unfortunately, she saw Anakin come in and slay all the Jedis. Now, these are not the same youngling kids from episode 3. They go, "Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?" These are the actual ones that Obi-Wan, if you remember episode 3, the one that Obi-Wan and Yoda go, not even the youngling survived. Killed not by clones, by lightsaber this was. That was the same children that were killed in that circle. And then he goes, "Who could have done this?" It was that scene. So if you were always wondering which scene it was, because he killed 2 sets of younglings. He kills the ones inside one of the rooms, obviously, and then of course the ones in the hall, which Obi-Wan and Yoda investigate. So yeah. So apparently she survived. She pretended to play dead, and I guess she got either captured or she decided to become a Force, dark side to get into his side, only to get close enough to try to kill Darth Vader. Well, we'll get to that. And we also got some cool flashbacks. It looked like it was episode 2 flashbacks, because noticing the hair of Obi-Wan, he had the same style that he had in episode 2. And also Anakin had the braid in episode 2. So I would assume this is a flashback episode 2. We got to see them using their lightsabers and having a little dueling match. Now, I'm not really sure if this was Hayden Christensen. And if it was, they really kind of used de-age him a little bit. And honestly, I found it kind of cheesy, because it didn't really look like him, like how he's supposed to look in episode 2. Now, granted, we all know how he still looks pretty much the same now, but I guess they tried to make him look younger than how he was in episode 2. And if that's the case, to me, it didn't work. So what can it do? But the lightsaber fight was pretty cool. You got to see a back and forth between Vader, looking at the flashback, and Obi-Wan looking at the flashback. So I thought that was a pretty cool little touch. We do get to see Obi-Wan use his lightsaber to cut down some stormtroopers, which he does. Tala, the girl who was helping him, she ends up sacrificing herself to save the people. by having a nucleon detonator, which she had in her possession. So she even programmed the robot that was only purpose was to mend things, to use a blaster. So that was pretty cool. He got destroyed. So she used the detonator to pretty much to sacrifice herself because she got shot anyway and save everybody, which she eventually did. We got to see Darth Vader try to hold the ship, and trust me, when you see Darth Vader in here, you can see how powerful he is, like Rogue One powerful level, which was very, very cool. We got to see him hold one of the ships. He brings it back down. They're just, because we're thinking, oh no, he captured him. He brings it down. He literally rips it open, and they're on the other ship, and they just take off and pretty much escape him as well. And then, of course, we got the big reveal at the end where Reva, she shows up. She goes after Darth Vader. They start swinging their lightsabers. Darth Vader beats the living bananas out of her. No pun intended, but still, he literally beats the bananas out of her. Breaks her lightsaber, even gives her the other half so he can use one half to take her out. And yeah, he basically schools the kid. So he stabs her. Now, she doesn't die right away. However, we do get another big reveal at the end, which is the Grand Inquisitor does return, which we all know because he's in Rebels. He's not supposed to die. So I kind of figured he was eventually going to come back. But yeah, he came back. And now he's the new Grand Inquisitor. So there's that. That's how he got his title. So he didn't really do anything. He just, it's like, yeah, I feel sorry for you. Bye. Takes the I guess the medal or the patch on her armor. He's like, yeah, it's mine now. So, man, I got the cool necklace now thing or whatever the pin patch or whatever it is. Now I'm the Grand Inquisitor, and he just walks off. And then Vader walks off, and then she gets into, like, I guess a hologram. Now we don't see her die. We're not sure if she's actually dead or she's just injured. She could be injured or she could be dead. Not really sure. I think they just kind of went to the next scene. So it looks like she was still alive because she was still crawling. So who knows there. And it looks like the Empire is now going to Tatooine to find Luke. Now, if that's the case, I really hope not. Like, I hope if... Okay, I really hope... Like, now, I know Vader and Obi-Wan, they're going to have one more fight in next week's episode. We all know it's coming. I just don't want to see for next week's episode where Obi-Wan goes back to Tatooine to protect Luke, which she's supposed to. And then Vader finds out about Luke. A little early, but yeah, I don't want that to happen because that kind of a retcon everything from episodes 5 and 6 because 5 is the most iconic movie line in history, and if you change that now, it's gonna make that demeanor, make that very short and like not cool anymore, especially with those people who never seen the original Star Wars movies and they end up finding that big shocker at the end of it. So yeah, if he finds out that he had a kid in Tatooine this whole time, I'm gonna be really upset because honestly that really demoralizes the episode 5 movie, which is the greatest Star Wars movie ever. So second is Return of the Jedi. So yeah. But yeah, still a cool episode. I really like seeing Vader throw down, even though when you watch him fight, you know how slow he is because he's a big dude. But the man's just powerful, the Force. He knows how to use the Force, especially at this point in his life. Yeah, he gets a little slow when he fights Luke later on, but still, like, at his prime, Vader, I don't think Luke had a chance. If Vader fought Luke in Luke's prime at, the power of the Jedi at that point, it'd be a really sick fight. But yeah, I wouldn't know who would win that fight. But to see him at his full peak, it's going to be a great fight next week. And I really hope next week's episode really gives us a real fight. I want to see it. Like, look, we all know Vader's going to lose. We all know he's going to lose to Obi-Wan. And then Obi-Wan will disappear for 10 years. We won't see it. Him and Vader again until episode 4. We all know that. But at least give us an entertaining fight. So hopefully we get that. Like, yeah, we got the first taste to see how menacing Vader was. Now Obi-Wan's going to get the revenge and see how powerful he has become when he doesn't hold back, especially if Qui-Gon tells him in his ear, like, yo, man, cut loose. Just go out there and do what you got to do. If you have to protect the boy, you have to do what you got to do. If you have to die to kill this fool, then do it. So if we get that next week, awesome. If we don't get that, I'm going to be a little disappointed. But so far, the show's not bad. It's okay. It's not great. But you know, it couldn't have been better. It really could have been better. But we have one more episode left to go, so we'll see what happens with next week's episode, and hope for the best. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Did you guys like it? Not like it? Are you guys liking the show so far or not? Leave me a comment below. Let me know. Thank you very much, and have a good day.